Hello, and welcome to another horrific review. I'm joined once again by Dale as we continue our journey along the filmography path of Sir Peter Jackson. Today we are discussing The Hobbit The Desolation of Smaug. Released in 2013, we continue the story of Bilbo, Gandalf, and the company of dwarves as they continue their quest to reclaim Erebor. This movie was made on a budget of $250 million and brought in $959 million at the box office. Hi Dale, and welcome back.
Hi.
Here we are again.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. Wow, that's a big budget, wasn't it?
The budgets are getting bigger.
Yeah.
Unexpected Journey was 200 million. Now it's 250 million.
Yep.
And this didn't look as good. Let's be honest.
No.
And the profit margin is smaller because first one brought in $1 billion, even in this trilogy, because it still had the Lord of the Rings sort of vibe about it.
Yep.
But then after people watched it, you can just see the drop off from the second one. There wasn't the enthusiasm.
Oh.
Where when we covered Lord of the Rings trilogy, it was just up and up and up,
Yep.
And the budget was consistent. He kept the budget for those three movies under 100 million each, and even allowing for inflation, there's no reason for these budgets to have skyrocketed.
No, right.
But three letters: C, G, and I.
Shocking. Seriously, it was the worst CGI. Oh my God, it was so horrific watching it.
Yeah. It was still a success, this movie, but it's really starting to squeeze. And I'll be interested when we look at the next one, because I've imagined there's going to be a drop-off. Like, even yourself, you haven't watched it.
Nope.
And this is maybe my second or third time total. I've watched this no more than 3 times, including this one.
Yeah, this is the second time I've watched the Desolation. Well, this one.
Oh dear. Also, I didn't realize this one. I don't know if all three of them were, but this was shot in 3D.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Why?
I don't understand. I don't understand. I just it just all went off course. It was.
You have a real sense. I think we were just talking before we went live there. You have a real sense of Peter Jackson struggling with this movie. He's like, you can just tell he's going, "What the hell do I do?"
Yeah.
There's not enough material here to make 3 movies. There's not enough material to make 2 movies out of.
It's like squeezing blood out of a stone. There's nothing there. It didn't follow the book. So it's not that I'm complaining about that, but oh God, the CGI. Seriously, I mean, it worked in the Lord of the Rings,
but it was minimal. His effort was impractical, and when you watch I didn't even bother watching the special features for this because I have a funny feeling to be putting on a brave face, and you can tell, and I've no interest in it because there's no magic in this one.
No, there's nothing.
You just know what it is.
It's just CGI the whole way through. Just it's a real disappointment. I'm really disappointed. Even though I kept watching it because it kind of kept drawing me in. Like, there was some bits when there's a lot of suspense and tension and action happening, but the CGI just ruined it in so many places, so many scenes. It was just full on.
And the bits that were actually in the book that they covered were so condensed. Like, first of all, the meeting with Bjorn. Like, they could have just not done that. It was so condensed and brushed under the carpet of move along. Do we get the action sequence?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of
that? They just, if they embellished it a lot more like they did in the book, it just would have been such a golden opportunity to add something really awesome to the film, because a skin changer or a skin walker, whatever, there was a really good element, and the pacing was off. That's definitely, the pacing was off. I would say that for a fact. That especially, when they went from there over to Mirkwood, it was right next door. I mean, what? Why didn't they just walk? I know that they had got bloody orcs coming after them and that, but dude, it was right next door. It's in the next farm. It's in the next paddock. The horses became redundant. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it, but this time around I was just like, now that whole scene just didn't make sense.
Yeah, it was like what do you call it? Game of Thrones type logistics, where it takes them 2 episodes to go like length of a field, but then they can get like one end of a country to another in half an episode, and you're just like, nothing makes sense.
No.
Yeah. I think this has been edited.
Cool he's such a cool character. They should have just made it, I'm sure I saw a longer version. I'm not sure, actually.
No, it's in the book. I haven't read the book in years. About 20 years I've read since I read the book. But everything in the Hobbit was alluring to a darkness building. Like even Gandalf, he wouldn't use his powers because it would be like a signal. Remember that phrase? It'd be like a beacon, the dark forces. When it was Bilbo said, about him not being a wizard or something, it was that about not using his powers because it would be like an attraction.
Yeah.
None of that was in this at all. And
it wasn't.
At the start, like an unexpected journey, they're trying to do, the lighthearted aspect of things. Yep. Now all of a sudden they're trying to like really lean into the Lord of the Rings, like the Two Towers, but it's not the Two Towers. There isn't that sense of urgency with this, so it doesn't make sense. They're throwing stuff in and drama for no reason.
Yeah, more fillers. Yeah, and it just didn't work. Sorry, it just didn't work.
Do you understand what I was saying to you? Why this is the one that broke me about the whole trilogy? Because
I can, yeah.
I really had no interest in seeing the third one after this.
No, why would you want to? I mean, you want to because you want to see what happens, but I don't know. Maybe it's watching a movie from a reviewer's point of view is a bit different, than just watching it for entertainment. So I think we get to see all the ins and outs of because we've been following him for months now, haven't we?
Yeah, and I think we're actually more forgiving. I think I think we're more forgiving of the director because you can see the studio interference, because we have seen Peter Jackson at his best.
Yeah.
And we have seen him with no budget. So it's not a budget thing. We've seen him, what he can produce with nothing.
I know.
We have seen him take some bad to mediocre actors and get the best performances out of them ever.
Yep.
Like one-note wonders. Like even Martin Freeman, he's a one-note wonder, and he gets a decent performance out of him. But
yeah, I'd say though, in this one, he didn't do a great performance, I'm afraid.
No, he's Martin Freeman. See that stupid that weird head flick thing he has?
Yes.
That irritates the life out of me. We're seeing that the whole way through this.
Yeah, right. I didn't notice it so much in the first Hobbit, but this one, it was really, really evident that he was just, I don't know, maybe he's given up. I don't know.
I have a feeling that, yeah, I think Peter Jackson got to the point and he just dialed this in. He's like, get this over and done with.
Yeah.
Then I retire. I think if you're in that sort of job where you're just soul destroyed and you're like, get me out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't leave. You keep waiting, and then something terrible happens, and you're like, "Oh, I wish I had left earlier." It's, oh God, yeah. He's
yeah.
Even Gandalf was looking a bit over it as well. Some of his scenes, he just.
But don't forget, Ian McKellen had, he's the Tolkien fan, and Lord of the Rings, he had the book with him, and he would flick through it in between. So imagine someone like him with a Hobbit going, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And even as a layman, when I first watched this, I was like, "What the hell is this?" Because The Hobbit was the book that got me into fantasy. The Hobbit was the one that really blew my mind, and it was just my primary school teacher. She had it. We were reading it in class, and really, the sort of school I went to, it's not that wasn't where that sort of book popped in, and. Trust me, I did not like that teacher, and that teacher did not like me. We were not friends. But it's the only thing I can thank her for.
Yeah.
I can't thank her for anything else, you know what I mean? Because the last 2 years of primary school were hell. But the only thing I can thank her for is bringing The Hobbit into class and having us read it. Because
how cool.
This started me down a whole path. And to see it butchered like this is painful.
Soul destroying, isn't it?
And especially with a director that I have the utmost respect for and love.
Yep.
But I know that I think we've got enough sense of him to know that he didn't do this.
Yeah.
That this is the Frighteners, all over again.
Yep. Yeah.
Gandalf going off the Dol Guldur, like what the hell?
I don't even know why. Yeah, right. That didn't make sense.
Because it wasn't in the book. It's a tomb. Like we don't even hear about the ring wraiths until Lord of the Rings. That's the whole point. We have no clue what's actually going on. It's by happenstance that.
Yes.
Because actually, you know what I mean, and it was explained so beautifully in the Lord of the Rings that, it was abandoned and gone to get picked up by anybody who'd be corrupted, but the fact that it was picked up by Bilbo put the whole plan back by decades.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was actually him interjecting, and then even that wasn't done right.
Yep. No. I don't know what. Yeah, I got a bit lost in some of the scenes, even though I've read the book quite recently. It was just like, this didn't happen. What? That didn't happen in the film. That didn't happen in the book. In fact, I'm sure we spent most of it in Milkwood.
Yeah, Mirkwood was the big. Mirkwood was the big event in the book.
Yes.
It was them getting through Mirkwood to the Lonely Mountain.
Yes. Yes.
And it's all what they encountered Mirkwood. If I remember, I'm going to have to pick up the book again and reread it, but none of this. And the Wood Elves, there was no Wood Elves.
There's no Wood Elves in the book. So I don't know. I don't know. They kind of mangled up the scene into interfering in Mirkwood. Although they looked cool.
Did they though?
I'm so confused. My brain hurts. This is why you don't read a book before you watch a movie. Oh God, because then it's just such.
I think you needed to for this to get a sense of perspective of why it was so wrong.
Yeah.
And even if you hadn't read the book, you have a feeling like this that this is not right.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that the normie audience, you know what I mean? Don't forget, Lord of the Rings didn't get that big just by Tolkien fans. It was the normal audience because it was translated, so the normal person could get access to this world.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Which then got more people to read books, which is always a good thing.
Yep.
This, even as a normie, you could tell just by the drop off in numbers.
Oh yeah.
That everyone, like, this is not the same hype or vibe that for the Lord. Everyone knows they're going to watch a trilogy. And the fact that it's dropping off in numbers from one first part to the second part tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, basically. I mean, the film wasn't done for Tolkien fans, because Tolkien fans would have been very up in arms about it.
No, it was absolutely panned. If you remember back in the day, like the 2013, this was absolutely panned.
2013. Yeah, exactly.
Everyone was like, no, what is this shit?
Yeah, it is. I know. Oh, I'm so sorry, Peter Jackson, but yeah, that was shit. Yeah.
That's what I said. I was hoping not to finish in this one. I hope they had done another movie since, but
No.
Such a shame.
Oh, it is. I'm just
Yeah, we'll see the Wood Elves, and then we'll see the recycled scenes with Legolas and sliding down and you're just like, oh no, you've just given up, haven't you?
Yeah.
And they looked so cartoony. Do you know when the Lord of the Rings we picked up those bits where he did look a bit cartoony, but we forgave it because he was enough of him acting and in physical scenes that it made up for the two blips, the horse scene and the the one or two scenes that stood out, but you forgave it because everything else is brilliant. This you can't, because it's just
can't overlook it.
Flippy CGI, horrible.
Yeah,
they're just even for the graphics, like it looked bad. It looked like something out of the 2000s.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Especially with the elves, and the elf. What's her name? Turiel.
Turiel. Oh God, don't.
Turiel.
We'll
just
get to that.
Those little scenes there of the those two battling against the orcs and all that, and it's just like pulling this out and doing all that and then shooting an arrow. Looks great, but when you actually do have a proper look at it, it's like actually it looks shit. I'm sorry, but you've mangled the CGI. You've mangled it. It's mashed. It's like it's not even connecting. There are loads of scenes in there where I was just like, that is the worst CGI I've ever seen. It's just.
It even makes the Goblin Cave in an Unexpected Adventure. An Unexpected Journey, sorry, the first one, look good.
Yeah.
It's so bad in this that it actually makes the first one look good. And that was that was my turning point for the thing. And I just remembered why I friggin' hate this trilogy.
It's mad. It's just a mess. It's a mess. It's like Peter Jackson's just how he's quite good at containing everything and where everyone is and all that. It's like he didn't have any input.
You'd almost think he was put there as a figurehead, like they do with modern. It's like they've already got the thing dialed, set in stone, the mold.
Yeah.
And they just want a director to turn up to put a name on it.
That's right.
I have a funny feeling that's what happened, because this is after 2010. It's around about 2010 we see this shift in cinema, and now we're at the tail end of this, where the companies are starting to realize finally that they've made a massive mistake, and they're trying to subtly course correct. And unfortunately, too many of them are run out of venture capital, and this year is going to be really interesting to see what happens. But yeah, Peter Jackson's just given up. He just went, nah, I'm you know what? I'm contracted to do this. It would cause more of a stink if I walk away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worry for his mental health, in this one particularly,
he's a details man, as we know.
Yeah, right. He's got to have felt something, something that I don't know. I haven't watched any backstories or anything to do with the making of this one, but
I kind of don't want to.
It's no, because then you've got those what do you call those non-disclosure waiver forms and stuff like that, and I bet you he's under one of those,
it'd be a 20-year one, so
we'll find out the truth one day.
Return of the King only turned 20 last year.
I know.
And there's how stupid Warner Brothers are. Like, they didn't even they should have done a re-release for the 20th anniversary of the 3 movies. That was money for nothing. The idiots.
Yeah.
And this is Warner getting bought over by AT. This is the time Warner getting bought over by AT&T. Them hitting the dirt. Them had the David Zaslav coming in, all that, and they're still trying to figure it out. And they've burnt their DC properties to the ground. Like that. The company is an absolute mess now, and it's decisions like this that have led them there.
That's right.
This is almost history. You know what I mean? This is almost a history lesson in filmmaking.
It is. Well, people are saying Hollywood's dying. They're actually, even the nightclubs are empty. in that area of Hollywood, there's nobody there anymore. There's nobody in the
club. I think Hollywood shouldn't die. It should be a containment, because the problem is if these idiots move out, they're going to infect everywhere else. So if they stay in Hollywood, and a 2 megaton nuclear warhead could solve a lot of our problems.
Yeah.
On Oscars night, boom, mushroom cloud, peace. Bunch of bastards. I hate Hollywood. I despise Hollywood. I despise the Hollywood institution.
They are ruining our childhood.
Even our adulthood, because I'm sorry, I'm not dead yet.
Just all these remakes. That's what I mean. It's just like, don't remake that. Don't remake this. Don't remake that. What are you doing? Oh, you're nuts. They need an overseer, the Lord of Hollywood. Someone who's going to oversee everything and make sure it's all, I don't know.
That was Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, well.
Look how that turned out.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. Oh, he was the other one, wasn't he? I don't know, but I keep getting those two names mixed up because they're both bandied about at the same time.
They're both at the bad. Yeah, they're both as bad as each other.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, he was the Lord of Hollywood, and fun times. But even back to this, like the plot, like we've got Gandalf, and obviously they ran out of Kate Blanchett budget because she was only a voice in this.
Yep.
They obviously couldn't afford physical Kate Blanchett, even though they've got a larger budget. But Gandalf's in telepathic contact with her, and then he brings Radagast to the tomb when Radagast didn't need to be there when he sent them away. So what was the point of bringing him there apart from just to have him give him something to do?
I think it's called a plot fail.
Oh, big time. Like that cavern that they look down still isn't as big as the plot holes in this movie.
No. No.
That's what they're doing. They're looking down the plot hole going, oh, that's never getting filled in.
That's exactly right. Right. It wasn't very long ago that they were talking telepathically to each other. Then all of a sudden they're not telepathically talking to each other. Okay. Did he try to get rid of Radagast for some reason? If he did, I missed the point.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have called him there to get rid of him because he didn't need him there in the first place.
So why?
And he's telepathically connected to Galadriel.
Yeah.
So he didn't need the...
No.
There's a pointless scene.
This is where it falls down because Sir Peter Jackson's his attention to detail is phenomenal, as we've seen before. And it's like, how could he let the plot slip and fall apart like it did? How could he do that? Did he not watch it while he was doing it? It's just like,
do you know what he was doing? This is how Peter Jackson was directing. And he's kind of going, action. I honestly think that's how he was directed this trilogy.
They couldn't get him to leave the trailer.
No, he's just like rocking back and forward.
Ripping his hair out.
With a copy of The Hobbit in his hands going, why? Why?
Oh, I know, right?
I genuinely, I do feel bad for him. Like if he's got himself roped into a contract where he has to do this, I've quit jobs for this and not cared about the consequences.
Yeah.
I've quit jobs because of crap going on. Going, well, if I end up in the streets, I end up in the streets. It's better than this because I'll end up braining somebody.
Yeah.
Where he's too much of a professional to do that. And I could just see him down a little inside.
Yeah, I know.
I'm down a little inside watching this. You know what I mean? It's bloody horrendous.
Yeah, it is. It is. Sad.
And then we've got Bilbo, like the scene in Mirkwood and Bilbo with the ring, and then we've got the ring whispering into him, and then starting like just none of that was in the book. None of that. That did not manifest itself.
Nope.
Until Lord of the Rings.
Nope, that's right.
Because if that had started, he would have been Gollum by the time of his 75th birthday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you can see he's already, the whispering and the compelling. He's compelled to touch it and do all that. It's his precious already, and it's like, dude, you only had it for a week.
Yeah, and the whole point of this story is there's a completely different story. And the Lord of the Rings is meant to be, oh, remember that ring you found? Guess what? It's actually, and the powers away, in Sauron coming back was what awakened it. And you're like, what the hell is this?
It made no sense.
I think it's just like, I think Jackson just went, do you know what? Let's just make us Lord of the Rings. Let's just do all the callbacks because I can do nothing else with this.
Yep. Use the same format. Use the same template. Let's do it that way. We'll have the first video, second video, then the third video, all the same format. Yep.
Copy and paste. Repeat the fade. Get this over and done with so I can never make these movies again.
Yep.
Because the fact that he hasn't made a movie after this.
What does that
after this trilogy, I think that says it all.
It does.
And if Hollywood can break somebody as fantastic and full of energy as Peter Jackson, God, what's it doing to like mediocre people?
I know, right?
But then you see it on screen. You're seeing all these lifeless zombies on screen, and this is the start of this trend of absolute crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
And God, it's depressing.
Yeah,
like we're seeing a moment in history here. We're seeing a turning point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not at all what I expected from Peter Jackson. I'm really highly disappointed.
Oh dear.
It sucks.
And then, oh God, I just called it Love at First Dwarf. Like, what the hell was that? Like, okay, the elves capture the dwarves because reasons. When, there was nothing. I don't know. I just can't. Even Legolas wasn't Legolas in this.
No, he wasn't.
He was just dark, horrendous.
No. Yeah. I just.
And he wouldn't have McLoin. You know what I mean? That didn't happen. I can't remember in the book if he.
He wasn't in it very much.
He wasn't in the Hobbit.
He wasn't in the Hobbit at all.
But I can't remember in the Lord of the Rings, the actual book, if no, he didn't. Right. No, because that was the whole point. They were all coming from, you know what I mean? The races were apart. The elves didn't engage with the dwarves and didn't engage with the humans, etc. And this is them actually coming together for the first time because of the threat.
Yeah. That's right. Since it all happened, that was them reuniting and going.
Yeah, so this was all guff.
Oh my God!
And it would have completely changed the dynamic between Legolas and Gimli if he had previous dealings with Gloin.
Yes. No, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's such a mess. It's not contained. I don't get it. They've mixed the story up. I'm getting twisted in with Lord of the Rings. So
deliberately so, because that's all he's doing is referring. Do you remember that thing he's liked, folks? Please pretend it's that. Do you remember the things he's really enjoyed? Because this isn't it, but please pretend it's that. That's the cry of desperation I'm getting from this movie.
It's almost like a remake of the Lord of the Rings, but from
like a Chinese knockoff or something, or a Bollywood version.
Exactly, like a fake version of the Lord of the Rings. Oh my God!
Knockoff.
Yeah, knockoff. Fake Rolex.
But oh my God.
Oh my God. He even Legolas actually looked different. I mean, he's how much older than he was, and now he looks older than he was in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
but he's supposed to be younger. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's what happens when you get the same person back in for a later.
For no reason.
For no reason. They didn't have to have the elves in there at all. I mean, what's her name?
Oh, Ariel? Oh,
yeah.
Well, I thought you liked love triangles, being a Twilight fan.
Very funny. That's between vampires and werewolves.
All right, that's believable, but not dwarves and elves.
Yeah, no, that was not believable. Why would she have a thing for a little?
And plus, did you notice that Killy doesn't look like a dwarf anymore in this?
Not at all. No, he doesn't.
He completely undwarfed himself, like from the first one.
He's a person. He's just a short person now. He's the only one that looks nothing like a dwarf. Oh, his brother. He looks more like a Viking. Billy looks more like a Viking, but Kelly looks like a proper person, just a short person. Why did they do that? I mean,
to make you, because if you had to look more dwarvish, like he looked like even the costumes on the first one, he looked like a dwarf, and then this one they just change him to make it more palatable, I suppose, that an elf would.
Yep, palatable for Turiel to fall in love with him, which I don't actually think happened. I don't. I mean, I know there's a triangle in there, but I didn't actually see it. If you know what I mean,
it was so forced.
It was forced.
When she was so forced, it was just cringeworthy.
When she was standing at the cell talking about the rune stone, and I'm thinking, is this supposed to be a love triangle? It looks like they're just having a conversation, But then when she chooses to let Legolas nearly get killed to go and fix Kelly, with the weed or whatever the heck that was, obviously that's when we see the triangle coming in, and it's like, why do we need a love triangle? This is supposed to be a Hobbit video,
which goes nowhere anyway, and
it's not in the book at all. So,
Turiel and Legolas aren't in the books. You know what I mean? That's no.
The love triangles for you romantic people out there. It's not really romantic.
This is anti-romance. This would put you off.
I hate romance.
Whatever that was not romance.
That's what they were trying to do. It fell apart, didn't it? It didn't work.
Oh, it was absolutely horrendous. Yeah, you just couldn't help but cringe inside.
It was cringeworthy, yeah.
Because it was
especially
so
when
forced.
She was fixed him. Yeah. Oh God.
Do you know what I was expecting him to say? Was, "Are you an angel?" Some stupid.
Exactly.
Oh
he
God.
Practically did, though, didn't he?
And you're like, what the hell?
You're in the other world. You're sparkling like the sun or some shit. What? Oh God. Fran must have written that bit in. Fran Welsh must have done that.
Well, she was a screenwriter.
Yeah.
She's went, fuck it. If we're going off script, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to throw some random stuff in.
Yeah.
I just went, yeah, whatever. Let's just get this shit done to go home.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
I hate my job sometimes, that sort of thing.
Let's go back to New Zealand and hide.
Because this wasn't just filmed in New Zealand as well. They'd done parts of it in Los Angeles, I think, or California. They actually
something like that. Yeah.
They shot this multiple locations, which once again, why?
Why? I don't get it.
And there's another reason why the budget just went vumph. Because what the hell?
No. But like you did mention, it probably could be because it was all done in 3D. Would explain the expense.
Not
maybe
50% more than what he did. When you think what he did for Lord of the Rings and did better, and this looks worse.
Yeah.
This looks terrible.
It's not going to date well.
It doesn't date well now. Like even watching it now, it's like, oh God, this is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Sad.
The only good bit in the when we did get Gimli having the family portrait in his pocket, and that we referenced the when Gloin had the wee reference to his wee lad Gimli. That was cool. Now, if it had been a normal story and that thrown in, that would have been like cool. There's a sort of reference, just blinking you miss it sort of thing.
Yeah.
But even that isn't enough to save this movie.
No. That was
too little.
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
Yep. Not enough substance. That could have turned into that's such a sweet thing, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it was just a hit and miss, or blink
also,
and you miss.
They had been from Rivendell, and surely Elrond, would have
just.
I know they left early. I suppose that was it, but still, word would have went about the party because they have ways of communicating.
Of course, yeah.
No, it just, it's so forced and so contrived. It hurts I'm trying to make excuses for this.
Yeah.
And I can't.
I know. It's just really bad. There's nothing we can say to change it. It just is really bad. Yeah.
And all this, up to this point, is just filler. It's just, right, we need stuff to make a movie. Let's throw anything in just to fill up screen time.
Yeah. There are some good beheadings.
Yeah, we got three beheadings, I think. Yeah. We get the first one at the
very, very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's still, like, if he hadn't wanted to do beheadings anymore, then Peter Jackson's broken.
Yeah,
but totally, I don't think he even had the enthusiasm. Like, he's all right. I'll try and cheer myself up. I'll do a beheading. Nah, not happening.
Yeah, so we'll have to do it a couple more times just in case.
Nah, not working. Did Michael Bay take over for the barrel scene? I remember this is the scene that broke me when I first watched it. But I think Peter Jackson went, do you know what? I'm going for a smoke break. Here, Michael, would you mind taking this bit over? And Michael's went, yeah, Because all you need to do is put the Transformers sound effects, especially about where Gloin's in the barrel. You hear all that stupid with the spinnies and flips and the barrel rolls and the utter daftness.
Mayhem. Oh, God. I think the barrel scene was one of the worst scenes in the whole thing. Seriously, it was boring as hell. The point of view changing into the water and then coming out again, that was horrible. That was not. Why did you change the point of view? You took us out of the picture for a bit. You keep dragging us back into the water and then up again. We don't need to see first person point of view. This whole film's in third person. It's not in first person. Keep it in third person. Slippage. See? 10 slippage.
I think somebody else just came in and directed that scene, because honestly, and with some of the dialogue as well, I think the only person I can think of writes that badly is Michael Bay.
The dialogue. Oh my God. And the I mean, I thought dwarfs weren't very agile, right? Mm-hmm. I thought they were big oafs, small oafs, who
very powerful, strong,
very
resilient.
Powerful, strong, not agile. Yet they managed to flip and do all sorts of stuff to get back into the same barrel they just jumped out of. Why? That's not even realistic. It's not realistic. Peter Jackson.
Chris says, greetings, another Tolkien review. You guys are making a Hobbit out of this. Do you know what? That's better dialogue than what we get here.
Is that Chris?
Yep.
Hi, Chris. Welcome to the review of the worst movie in the world. No. No, seriously, the barrel scene was just ridiculous. It really was.
I was at that point. I mean, I'll not lie. See, after the barrel scene, I was struggling to actually take notes.
Keep going. Yeah.
I was just wigging out now at this point because I'm just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because the rest is so convoluted. And, oh, God, man. was just painful.
It was actually very painful to watch.
Also,
I felt like I was being stabbed and murdered.
If this was the route the barrels took for the barge to pick up, what a convoluted route just for barrels. They'd be smashed to bits.
They would be.
There's no way that's the normal route, that they dump the barrels down to get picked. Yes, the logic's sound that they roll them into the water in the canals. That's the way canals work, but there's no way. Even that on its own doesn't make sense. There'd be barrels everywhere. There'd be bits of barrels. There'd be barrels missing.
There'd be missing dwarves. There'd be,
No, but even without the dwarves in the barrels, if that was the way they got them to the bar, it doesn't make sense. And there's no way that barge. It's not a canoe. They're rapids. That barge would be torn to pieces. So there's no way that's the regular route.
Yeah.
So it's not authentic. Bloody sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like they just thought we're stupid, so we'll just like this movie, because it's a Peter Jackson movie, but in actual fact, it's pretty shit. I mean, the barrel scene went off too long. Yeah. I'm sorry, Peter Jackson. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's just well.
But I genuinely think he was in pain making this.
Yeah.
There's no way he stood behind this being proud of what he's done.
Yeah. You can tell, It's like if a movie's painful to watch, it must have been painful for the director.
But if it was a hack director, we'd get it. You know what I mean? If it was what do you call him? Kevin Feige or what was that at your neck of the woods? Taika Waititi. If Taika Waititi had jumped in and made this, I would understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Totally.
In fact, if they had just, what Peter Jackson should do, he should actually give Taika a couple $100 and go, here, you can stick your name in that. Seeing you've tanked your career here, I'll give you that. And you can pretend you made it. And it would actually, all of a sudden, this trilogy would make more sense.
I know, right?
But this is not Peter Jackson, and he's too much of a back catalogue of consistent work.
I know.
Check the channel, folks, by the way. We've got it in the playlist. You know what I mean? You can go through right from the very beginning. You can go on this journey to where we've got here. This is not Peter Jackson's work.
No. He's been interfered with. He's had his creativity stifled by all these blimmin' big budget names and businesses and production teams, and they've made a mess of it.
And it's obviously got chopped, absolutely butchered in the editing room.
Yeah, bloody heck.
It actually gives me more of a appreciation for King Kong, and that movie had mixed reviews, but
it did. Yeah,
I've actually more of appreciation because I see the lengths he went to get what he produced out of that. This, no, I'm not seeing it.
No, there's only honestly a couple of times where I can see Peter Jackson's really creativity coming through for, like, say, I really liked the scene where Bilbo stuck his head out through
the top of Mirkwood?
Yeah, Mirkwood, the top of Mirkwood. That gave me a the Lonely Bones, Lovely Bones type of vibe, with the butterflies.
The butterflies, the birds, that. And
I mean, why couldn't they just do more of those sorts of things? That Peter Jackson's really good at those. But no, that was the only place I really saw his creativity come through.
I've got a no, this is not my turn, this is Chris's. I should get Chris on here to do a crazy theory, but it'll be my crazy theory. I think Peter Jackson's actually been murdered.
Yeah.
And Taika Waititi's been wearing him as a skin suit.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Peter Jackson was murdered before the Unexpected Journey happened, and it was Taika Waititi, and he's just been wearing a Peter Jackson suit because he's jealous of him.
Yep. Or
do you think I get in trouble for saying that? Or
he could be a skin ninja. He's a skin changer.
That's why they moved away from the plot, because he's actually Taika Waititi's got the magical powers of a skin changer, and he's kidnapped Peter Jackson. He's had him in a basement, and he went in here to pretend to be Peter Jackson and directed this. Because if it was a Taika Waititi production, this would make so much sense. Of the daftness and the stupidity and the randomness, and it making just absolutely not sticking to any lore.
Yeah,
and Peter Jackson woke up after this was done, and he's went, what the hell is this? Why is my name on it? And then he can't face the world. That's why he doesn't direct movies anymore.
No, you're right. You could be onto something there.
That's the only thing that makes sense, because there's nothing actually what's happening here on the screen that does.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering where Peter Jackson is in all this.
He's hiding in his trailer. He wouldn't come out. No,
he stayed in free at the pub.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not directing this. All the actors are like, come on, you have to do this. No, I'm not doing it. All right, we'll just do it ourselves. Fine, do whatever you want.
Oh, you could be onto something. Oh, they might have cloned him.
Yeah. They've got something wrong with that batch.
Yeah, definitely.
At least when they actually did reach Arab. Oh, sorry, we'll have the whole what happened in that? I can't remember the name of the town.
Lake Town.
Oh yeah, sorry, it was that original name, right? What the hell happened in that town? Because I actually wigged out. Have you noticed in my notes that I kind of wig out between the barrel scene and Erebor? Like I just went, though, and I'm like, what happened? Stuff happened, and there was words and actors, but I just cannot for the life of me figure out what the.
I'm with you. I'm so with you.
Right, barter eyes with fish that he'd used to hide the dwarves.
Now, you know when you said there's an actor in The Hobbit you did not like. I did not realize it was.
Oh, you thought it was Luke Evans?
Thought it was Bard. Yep. I don't like Bard as an actor.
He's just generic. He's not even.
He's generic. He's in loads of different movies, and he plays the same damn acting that he does. I don't like him. Never have. I think I liked him once, and then he just kept doing the same acting over and over again. But Bard is just
What's his backstory? Wasn't he on a TV show?
I'm not sure if he was in a TV show.
No, that's Luke Perry. Sorry,
Yeah, no, that was Luke Perry.
I don't know. He's just one of them actors. Just
an actor that's been in some random stuff.
Yeah.
If you look it up, you'll go, oh yeah, I know that.
I actually thought it was Orlando Bloom. Playing a double part. Because he just looks so like, he's just that generic. He looks like Orlando Bloom a bit, in his
the dark hair and the
Pirates of the Caribbean sort of get up.
True. Yeah, but no, I don't like him as an actor.
Luke Evans.
He was actually in this movie a distrustful character. We didn't know whether or not to trust him or not, which was about the only element of suspense and a teeny weeny bit of suspense in there, except for the last scene.
But even then, it was so painful. It was just right. So he brings fish, and then they decide, kick all the fish in it. Not even a bribe. It's like, the master says this, and Alfred and the Master talk about two cardboard cutout villains who are villains just for the sake of being villains and have no. Even Denethor was a more rounded character.
Yeah. I didn't like him. We didn't like him straight away, right? We knew that he was going to be a menace to Lake Town, and he did end up being a menace. He was horrible. Oh God.
And then right, they capture the dwarves, then they celebrate them, then they hide them. Then I don't know. I just wigged out during this part because it was just all picture, no sound.
They were there, and then the next minute they disappeared, and they're all gone. Well, why didn't we get to see that?
And then they got all their weapons and armor, and I don't know. I just
coming up through the toilet. I don't know. It just didn't. It's just it's nothing. It's nowhere near the book. It's got nothing to do with the book at all. There's nothing in there. I can see why Tolkien fans would have been very upset.
I don't think this is even a Tolkien fan. This is just if you're a film fan. If you like stories, this story makes no sense.
It doesn't. It's got nothing to do with the book at all. Not that I care about that, because there's lots of adaptations that completely go off the rails. Yep, that's fine, and they turn out fine. But this ended up just being a disheveled mess. And this is not at all what Sir Peter Jackson is. He's very contained, even in the most chaotic of scenes. He still is so contained. It's like he's just gone, all right, you guys just act naturally, go and do whatever you want to do, and I'll just take pictures. I'll just take a photo.
Right, guys, let's just get this over and done with. I want to go home.
Yeah.
Chop, chop, action, right?
Yeah,
done.
Because we've still got another film to make.
Yeah, and he's probably going, oh, God, we've still got another film to make.
Yeah. Give me the antidepressants.
Unless it's Taika Waititi in a Peter Jackson skin suit. He's going, I get another film. Dear God, this is that whole lake town. I couldn't even take notes on it, because I'm just like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah. Because there was
Stephen
so much
Fry, I even forgot his name there for a second. Stephen Fry being the master.
The master. Gosh. Obviously, they've put him in there to let us know just how bad Lake Town's turned into, obviously, but we didn't get to see it beforehand. So, I'm confused. But I watched it, but I can definitely say I didn't enjoy that part at Lakewood, at Lake Town. It was just Oh,
Thorin Oakenshield, what say you? Like being Aragorn 2.0 again.
It is, right?
Just like, no, you're not the. You just did that.
God, when he was standing up there and he, and all of a sudden he's, this is Thorin, it's the king. It's like, oh my God, they made him look like Aragorn. It's like, oh my goodness. It's ridiculous. Might be another Aragorn, There's only one Aragorn.
No, but then it takes away from Thorin and his story.
Yeah, it did take away from Thorin. It did. Yep, the story.
This is not Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit is a kid's book. It's for a younger audience. Yep. It's a lighter tone. It's a pleasant story, but just happens that the events in it lead on.
Yep.
And they've just arsed it up.
Yeah, they did. I think they tried to make it very horrifying, to obviously, because that's what Sir Peter Jackson's good for, but it didn't work. It wasn't horrifying. The orcs didn't look scary to me. Great costumes, by the way, but they look like costumes.
Most of them looked CGI.
And the CGI, yeah.
Like the orcs looked as if they were CGI.
Oh yeah,
and
I know. Yeah.
I just couldn't take them seriously.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't be scared of the pale orc, Azog.
Asgog, yeah. And then I can't remember who his lieutenant was that he sent, but didn't care.
I
did not care. That was the thing. I just wasn't invested.
Nah, it was just like the first one, how the orcs just did not look scary at all. Not compared to, the ones in the Lord of the Rings and the blimmin', what do you call them?
The Uruk-hai, you got the idea of something more devastating being created.
Yeah.
With the Uruk-hai, as opposed when you saw an ordinary orc, but these were just.
Yeah, and the spiders and Mirkwood.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there not dialogue between the spiders and Mirkwood?
There is dialogue.
There is dialogue. The spiders are intelligent beings that speak.
Yeah, they're talking.
The same as the eagles.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh.
So they leave out the actual important parts of the story.
The substance
that made the Hobbit the Hobbit.
Taken out. Yeah.
And they took it out to make a knockoff Lord of the Rings.
Of the Lord of the Rings.
And it really does feel like a knockoff.
Yeah, it does the whole way through. In both of these ones I've seen so far. Yep.
Oh, in fairness to like I said, the first one, you were up. I was on board until they got to the Goblin Cave. Like that was a well-told story up to that point, and I was on board. And then I remember I said to you last week, "Oh God, I'm not looking forward to this one."
Yep.
I had foreboding because even though it'd been years, probably right. I think I probably haven't watched this since like 2013. I think I watched once or twice. In 2013, I have not looked at this since, and even I have that sense of dread before sticking it on. And I told you I wasn't looking for it, and this just confirmed why, because I just remember it being so bad.
Yeah. I don't remember it being this bad the first time I watched it.
I think because
I know a lot more now about.
Yeah, that's it. Knowledge is not always a good thing. Also, I think having knowledge of Peter Jackson as well, the director.
Yeah.
You know, more of an in-depth knowledge, and rather than just being aware of somebody. Like we've really plumbed into his. You know, we know what his style is, and this is not it.
His signature moves. We know everything about him basically from his filmmaking.
Yeah, and none of that's in here.
No. Peter Jackson wasn't even there.
No, he wasn't. He didn't turn up to work.
No, they just put his name on there.
They put his name and he just didn't bother turning up, and they let them do whatever.
Yep, definitely. I think that's what's happened. Or an alien's come down and abducted him and they want
It's Taika Waititi. I think it's Taika. Taika did it.
Yeah, Taika Waititi.
I'm sticking to that. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it until somebody proves me wrong. Where were you though? Where were you during those 3 years, Taika? Can you tell us your whereabouts between
we need an
December 2012 and 2014? Explain yourself, sir. Chris says The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings were completely different types of books. Yep, the tone was starkly different. So trying to make The Hobbit similar to Lord of the Rings was a fatal flaw. Yes, this was a lighter story, a kid's story, a more upbeat one. It was a basic adventure. But the seeds were being sown, the songs, the elven, the runes, all that stuff was being sown in world building. So you had an idea of what Middle Earth was. But it was a much simpler story. And this is just an abomination.
Yeah, it is.
And then obviously the side plot with Gandalf, which never happened. But we need to fill space and we need to remind you that Sauron's coming.
That's the only reason that was in there.
Oh, dear. Now, if it had been Morgoth / Melkor, that would have made sense. Him trying to come back from the void, because that's how he was defeated in Silmarillion. He was cast into the void, never to return.
Yep.
If it had been Morgoth trying to break back into the world, that would have made sense. It would have tied because I always said he should have just done Lord of the Rings, he should have just done The Hobbit as a movie, maybe 2 90-minute ones, and then did the Silmarillion. That would have been, and that could have been a trilogy because there's so much in that book. It's only a short book, but there's so much in it.
Wow.
It covers thousands of years. That would have been the ultimate trilogy for him to bring on the screen.
Absolutely.
But idiots at Warner Brothers, obviously, I can't see me into my nose. That's too far for me to see. Bastards. This is making me angry. This is proper making me annoyed.
It's frustrating though, isn't it? It's like watching the devastation of somebody's career, just go from up high down to
just flush down the toilet.
Flush down the toilet. Hollywood, you ruined Peter Jackson.
They're your brightest star, you muppets.
It's like he's dead. It's like he's gone.
He didn't go. He went stuff it after Battle of the Five Armies. He's like, I'm out. See yous. I can't do this. Do you know some people have integrity and they compromise themselves that much that they actually can't look themselves in the mirror? I think this is what happened. And I'm just surmising and theorizing here, but I honestly think after this, that's why he's done.
Yeah.
A producer credit here and there, and a passion project, a documentary, but he's done with Hollywood and he's done with movie making because, God, this would break you if you have any sort of integrity.
Yeah.
This experience would put you off.
I just wish he had ended at Lord of the Rings, leave on a high.
Yeah. Oh God, he could have done no wrong after that. You know what I mean? If he had finished after Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But that whole thing with Gandalf was just pointless. And once again, it was recreating the scene at Isengard.
Same thing.
Oh, Gandalf's locked in a cage. Oh, I wonder if I can't remember. Is there going to be a butterfly appearing again?
Yeah, a moth. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh. At least when they actually got into Erebor, we got a bit of a sense of it again. It's like it came back to the story.
Yeah, it did. Finally.
It's like, right, the left and they met Bjorn, and then stuff happens, and then they get the Erebor. And then it comes back into the Hobbit again. But then they start ruining it as well, because then they have friggin' Thorin going mad. And you're like, what the hell is this?
And it was only for an instant, it wasn't like it was elaborated on so that we could understand that point of view and why he was going down that track, it was just, I don't know, it was like a wasted emotion, I guess. It was just a wasted space. Just seeing
I don't remember it being like that in the book. Like the whole interaction between Bilbo and Smaug, yes, that's in the book, and Bilbo showing his cleverness.
Yeah.
But then the whole thing with Thorin and about the cat, practically run Bilbo through with his sword. Considering the fact Bilbo was the one that figured it out to let them in.
Yeah.
Once again, we're got back to roots, then they turn apart again.
It's another plot fail. There's a lot of loose ends in here that are not going to be fixed in the third one, if you know what I mean. They had to be fixed right now at this stage, not in the next film, because by then the loose ends are forgotten, and so you've ruined the plot. You haven't kept to the plot, and everyone can see that. And then, just complete devastation.
Oh, and you're leaving the movie with a bad taste in your mouth, which I remember doing.
Yeah.
You're not even excited for the third one?
Oh no, God, I don't want to watch it. Can we give up now?
No, sorry, we committed ourselves. We'll have to do it.
Okay, I can handle another 3 hours of The Hobbit. Anyway, I haven't watched this one, so I am looking forward to watching it. I'm hoping he's going to reclaim himself.
It gets a bit... I can't even remember now. It gets strange.
Oh, okay.
I remember Billy Connolly being in the third one, and even he couldn't save it.
Right. That's right.
Because, I can't tell you about the third one, because honestly, it's erased from my mind.
Yep. That's all right. Yeah, it's not important information, so
no, so out it goes. God, the CGI in this as well.
Oh, and the mountain.
Smaug was all right.
Smaug was good. He looked pretty impressive, but
and we actually got a Smaug-like character.
Yeah, totally.
But
that was this. In fact, out of the whole book, out of the whole film, this part was my favorite. But I was let down completely. It was my favorite, but I was let down.
Sorry, I have to address a point here. Oliver, hush thy mouth. because Billy Connolly in The Last Samurai, I am convinced Tom Cruise had his character killed because Billy Connolly was out acting him. And don't forget Boondock Saints, you muppet. Flipping go away. You know nothing about movies. Flipping blasphemer, slagging off the big one. He's a Ouija too. He should know better.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, somebody that doesn't know anything about actors or movies jumped on to try and act as if he knows stuff, and he doesn't. Yeah.
What? Just now?
Yeah, Billy Connolly's only good acting role was God in the Acid House. It's like, go away. You know nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's that weird, and oh god, I can't remember the name. There's that weird indie one he does as well. He's only a bit part on it about priest and one of the altar boys, and he's like a hippie in the woods. That was a cool one. Billy Connolly's done shitloads of stuff.
He's been in lots of cameo appearances too, hasn't he? Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's he had to give up stand up because he's got Parkinson's.
That's what it was, Parkinson's.
He lives up near a wee town called Ballater. I used to be based up there. It's near Balmoral Castle, and he used to go down to the chip shop all the time.
Wow!
You bump into him and stuff.
Oh, how cool! Wow, because he's married to a Kiwi, isn't he?
Yeah.
Pam. Yeah, she's.
God,
Kiwi,
I read her biography of him. It was all about her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
She's a bit of a.
Who the hell was the biographer?
Her.
Jeepers.
She wrote a biography on Billy Connolly and managed to make it all about her.
Oh, she wrote it about her husband,
yeah.
But she put herself in the story. Like, oh, okay.
Me. I was like, okay, right. All right.
Oh my God, please. Lady, calm down.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Anyway, getting back to the bloody
we need to here. Hold on, we've taken less tangents in this review than the actual script took, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But oh God, really? You can run down a mountain of gold and there's no sound effects. Wow, that's really amazing.
Unless the plot needs it.
Unless what?
Unless the plot needs it.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember the gold only tinkled or made a noise when it was a plot device?
Isn't that ridiculous? Yeah, I think Peter Jackson, doesn't he usually do good sound effects? No, actually he doesn't. He's not a sound effects sort of person. So, yeah.
I just don't think he cared. Honestly, he just get this done.
Yeah. It wasn't authentic.
No.
You'd think there'd be more carnage with a dragon throwing around gold goblets and plates and dangerous cutlery. And
there'd be more melted gold flowing about the place because they're apparently breathe fire about 20 times, just in case you forgot he was a fire-breathing dragon.
Exactly, right? Oh my God. Oh well. I don't know. I would give this, not that I ever rate anything, I would give this a 4 out of 10.
That's very generous of you. Honestly, it was painful to... honestly, I hated watching this. I genuinely hated watching this movie.
Yeah. I managed to get it off Prime, which is good. 7-day free trial. Otherwise, it was going to cost me $20 to watch it on YouTube. And I'm like, nah. I've got a feeling this is a really bad movie as well. I'm not paying $20. So
no, I bought secondhand DVDs.
Yeah. Well, it's really hard to find secondhand DVDs.
Well, I've been lucky. There's a chain of stores over here which I've started visiting on a weekly basis, and that's where I pick up stuff. And that's
you're lucky.
I've got a little Peter Jackson shelf now.
Oh, you're so cool.
I can't Meet the Feebles though in physical copy, which is really annoying. That's the only one I'm missing.
Ah, gosh, that was a good one. If I find one, I'll send one over. I'll probably find one over here somewhere.
That's the only one I'm missing. That's going to be one I keep. I'm keeping my eyes out for if I can get that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I'll keep my eyes out for you too.
Yeah. Oh, the CGI for the smelting furnace. Oh my god.
Oh god.
That was painful.
It was a mess. It was a mess. With the fluttering thing. I didn't get it. Okay, he's using his body to do the fluttering to get the. Oh, I don't know.
I don't think that when the thing was working, it just doesn't make.
It didn't. I couldn't understand the mechanism of it. If I can't understand the mechanism of it, then how is anyone else supposed to understand what that furnace does and how it's working, and why drench Smaug in water when it didn't work? Yeah.
I think it was the hot. They were trying to do the hot and cold thing,
Yeah.
cool him down, then expose him to hot, but it was done that badly that makes no sense.
Does he need a hold compress? Is he sick?
Thermal shock, trying to create thermal shock, but
okay, it didn't work.
What was it? Yeah, think back to the Two Towers and think of the scene where Saruman has the orcs and goblins, starting to. Sorry, excuse me. The industry's going, and they're chopping down the trees, and look at that. That made more sense. Their industrial complex made more sense and logical, and then pumping out the weapons.
Yep.
Than this. This made no sense whatsoever. This was just an excuse to have dwarves bouncing about the place.
Yeah. That's all it was. So I saw it as theatrical. It was very theatrical, sort of, not Peter Jackson style at all. He's not a very theatrical sort of person, if you know what I mean. In the films that we've watched. Yeah. Nah, I didn't get it. I didn't get that. I didn't get the mechanism of the furnace. So why not explain what you're doing so we know what's going on in the scene? But no, I mean, if you're supposed to have read the book, well, that's not the whole point. The whole point is to watch the movie, not to read the book to find out what happens, and that's not even in the book.
Yeah, and if you're doing something based on the book, you're meant to encourage people to go get the book, not just go,
exactly.
What the hell was this?
Yeah. Yeah, that was full on CGI.
Yeah, and then even that bit where they had the image of the king, but it was only half melted, and I was just, oh my god, that was so painful.
Oh no, I know. How the hell would that have heated up that molten gold so fast? The pacing of this whole film was off.
And
explain to me how fast it would take gold to turn into molten lava.
Yeah, and then it holds the shape just enough to fall. It just was dumb.
And then the shape of that, and then it collapsed and turned into lava. It made no sense. But then we see Smaug fly off in gold, and then he gets rid of the gold. It's like, wouldn't you been better if you kept him as a golden dragon or something, since you've gone off script anyway? I don't know.
He wouldn't have been able to fly with that amount of gold. You know what I mean?
How could you fly with gold on you? That's right. Why not keep him as a golden magical dragon? I don't know. We know what's going to happen now, obviously, where he's heading.
Even when he shook it off, if that had fell as solid lumps, it would have made more sense.
It would have.
And smashing around the place. And there's enough CGI left over. If they hadn't wasted all their time, that would have been an epic scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Bard, the plot point, he finds he kept one of the special arrows, which we know is going to kill Smaug in the end, because it's just
foreshadowing. I know.
This was bad.
Yeah, he didn't do well with the characters. No.
What characters?
Yeah, too many characters with not enough substance.
It's hard enough to manage 13 dwarves characters. You didn't need a whole ensemble cast of everybody else and side plots.
Yeah. Yeah, the side plots just take away from the story. Does he not know that?
I really don't think he cares at this point.
Sometimes side stories are really good, and they actually add a lot of stuff to the plot, and the layering and all that sort of stuff is fantastic. That didn't work in this instance. It did not work. Sorry. Yeah.
So this is just a reel of filler. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just we needed a middle movie cause.
That's right. And it needed to be a darker version than the first one, just like the Two Towers was a darker version of the Fellowship of the Ring. So,
but the Two Towers made sense because it was actually written as a book.
Yeah. Yeah. So
no, at the end of the day, the Lord of the Rings was an actual trilogy. It was a trilogy of books. That's why it was split up.
That's right.
It wasn't just an adaptation. This wasn't that at all.
No. And he was told to do a trilogy. Yeah. Otherwise, he wouldn't get the job. They would replace him with someone else. Maybe they should have.
Yeah, maybe he should have just walked away. But hindsight's 2020, as they say.
Yeah. He made a lot of money out of it, so that's all right.
Well, as long as he's happy, you know what I mean? But something's went wrong because he hasn't made a movie since, so...
No, I don't think he ever will.
Nah, I think he's went into other things or, you know... his documentaries and his workshop and his...
You got to think about it. I mean, we come from a really tiny, contained country, you know, and to be like Taika Waititi and Sir Peter Jackson to be in Hollywood from this tiny little country must be scary and daunting, and you know, like a possum in the headlights, just sort of. Yeah, because they're not American. They don't get, you know. I think we run by a different sort of point of view or world view, and I guess when people get into the Hollywood, it's all glitz and glamour and this and that and big heads and big actors and all this sort of stuff. And I think he's probably just gone, well, I've done it. I'm leaving, and I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't ask me to do any more projects because I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I need to find some recent interviews or something just to see after we do the Battle of the Five Armies. I think that's something I need to do. Is just let's look at some interviews or something and have maybe a bit of a post-mortem. If there's anything out there that he's able to talk about his experience, it'd be worth doing.
Absolutely, I think so too.
We'll see anyway. But yeah, this is not a good time, and it shows. And I don't think he's having a good time. It shows.
It shows. Yeah.
But there you go. Such a shame.
Yep. Never mind.
But we've got to finish
this. Looking forward to the next one though.
Yeah. Well.
Yep.
I think this is the worst of the three. I don't remember enough about the third one.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
But
I'll have to see what happens.
Let's get it done. For God's sake.
Yeah.
That's all part of it. But thanks as always, Dale. Even though this is horrible, at least there's got somebody to cry about it with because that's his painful. And thanks to everyone who tuned in the chat. Great to have you. Knows that we're lurking as well. I see you there. Thanks for watching. And just as we say, keep up to date with the channel, do the typey clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.